We are friends. We're allies. The only we are once. There is no we in reality. Once. Nothing. Yes. And where you gain peace and the place are met with ant. Does an ant reckon for them to be your mind and faced with that? So we're limited under it's too small to see. There's in your it's nowhere programmed to second. Now it's in there. Thing big for me to see. New thought. Something that your programming says is not new over and over sun. I could get nothing new under the sun. What about above? When I'm telling you a thought, there's too big for me to see. Here's a picture. How does an ant perceive a skyscraper? Can it even tell what it is? No. It's just the world to the ant. I can't see the whole world. I can't see the sky too big for me to see. And your mind will do the rest. It will break the program. It will break nothing new on because now you hear it correctly. It's not saying there's nothing new. It's saying there's nothing new under the sun. Same old, same old, same old. And your mind is saying that's too small for me to see. You're aware of micro things that exist. You believe like germs. Someone told you about germs. You have never saw a germ. You have never saw a germ. But in your mind, it's a reality. It's a noun. Germs. They're everywhere. Like you can see them, smell them, hear them, taste them, or touch them. You've never encountered a germ that you can say for sure. You don't even know that germs really exist. You getting the point? Someone says, it's too small for me to see. But they did not say, it's too big for me to see ever one time. Come on now. Does that seem balanced or right to you? Yin yang and all of that? Two sides to everything? I can point out 1,000 things in which they only taught you one side of the coin. It's way past a conspiracy, past a devious plot, way beyond anything that you can give a label to. But that ain't the purpose of this note. The purpose of this note is to break the program. Two thoughts. There is something new over the sun, beyond the sun. A lot of new stuff. There's nothing new under the sun. What's here has been here since the beginning. But there is something new above the sun. That's the new thought. The other thought, there, that's too small for me to see, is the only directional thought of size in your mind when it comes to Kant. They never put the thought in your head, that's too big for me to see. So now you think about that ant and the skyscraper, the humongous building, where the one wall of it is the ant's whole world and the ant's whole life. It never seen that end of the wall, that end of the wall, it never been to the roof, and it probably could never been to the bottom. It's just in the middle somewhere, and the world is the same. All wall. That's the world. The world is a wall to the ant because the building is too big for the ant to perceive. That's you. Not just things are too small for you to perceive. That's not the order of things that you know with your senses. everything goes in both directions. There's small and there's big, micro and macro. So, two thoughts that break the program because they both lead to one thought that is real, not fake. There is that above what you can see, too vast for your senses to perceive. Imagine this. If you lived inside a particle, it would look like this diagram they gave you of the universe. Not the universe, your solar system. It would look like the inside of a particle with a nucleus, the sun, and electrons and protons revolving around it. How do you know you're not in a particle of a world much more greater than this? It looks just like a particle. How do you know there isn't a world inside those particles if the particle looks just like your solar system? Now imagine stages of size. You will have little tiny people, little tiny micro beings that you can't see. They'd tell you they germs, kill them. Life forms, just like you, probably built just like you. Well, with their supersonic microscopes, they still can't perceive them yet. They're getting smaller and smaller down where they can see more and more down. That's how they found out the atom wasn't the smallest particle. So, either information has not been discovered. See, discovered to you has been played up as finding because you don't know the language that you're speaking and thinking in. It's not finding, it's uncovering something, to discover something. That means it was here already, it wasn't lost, it was covered up. It was covered up. And to discover it means to uncover it. So these discoveries, you keep hearing the same tale about everything. There's nothing new under the sun thing, you hear the new tale. In ancient times, they already did that. In ancient times, they already knew that. Wow, do you believe in ancient times they had this stuff already? What happened to them? So you're thinking they died like the dinosaur in your programming. From being primitive, they just phased out, things got advanced. There's a gap in that theory, just like the missing link. What happened to them? If they could fly, and they had electricity and running water and psychic powers and all these things that you haven't even got yet, where did they go? What happened to them? Okay? Try to understand this. Everything, I'm going to use your world to describe this to you. This isn't how it goes. This is my example using what you know. Everything you have has a reset button on it. Everything you got has a reset. All right? Everything. Reboot, reset. It's on everything. So I want you to focus on that, on reset. All right? That every so long, something is reset, okay? And those before, when they evolved to the level that they discovered things get reset, they were always right there about the time to be reset by the time they found it out. It was always at the last minute. First, it was too late. The reset was discovered by those who came after. Now they knew of the reset. But it's too late. We're out of time. We know of this, but we can't stop it to think of what to do about it. And it's going to happen again. We got to leave a message. See, that's what our species always thinks. We have to let someone know not to come this way or to do this. We do it like that when we finish. When we're done, for some reason, the fact we're not really totally selfish and self-centered, or we do see ourselves as one, is this move right here to reach out beyond our death and warn those who come after us. We don't have to give a damn about them. We're dead. Why do we always do this when we know we're finished? So let me show you what you saw and someone told you it was something else. You saw a message. Buried cities, complete with bowls and utensils and everything they got, and record of everything they got, and the best material they had at the time that they knew would last through the reset. They knew what would survive the reset because that's how they discovered the reset from the last ones. They found their remains. So they knew what materials would last through this reset thing. And they built huge monuments and gave you every clue in the world that we were here, okay? We were here and we already did this, hoping that you find it in time to do something before you get reset. They wrote it everywhere, every one of them in every land. They built things that they did not use. You think they lived in these cities, in these buildings. Come on. They would have to evaporate in a second. All the dishes are still on the table. It's a setup, a display, a time capsule. You get it? Time capsule. To let you know we were here before, and for you to knock on your head and say, well, what happened to them? And then you're going to find those who were there before them, and they disappeared. And you're like, uh-oh, this might happen to us. Well, let's see if we can get some time frame for this reset and see what we can do about it. I've been on this my whole life. My whole entire life. Trying to find a way to beat this thing. This is news. This is not mentioned in any note, not even hinted at anywhere on the planet. This is the state I'm in. That distortion you see above your head that's different than those other little twinkly things that you think are planets out there or stars or whatever is a crack. That you call the Milky Way, it's a crack in the roof, an opening. Understand this. There's something covering it. And when it moves, the waters come in and kill everybody. I can't say that's what happens every time. I'm saying the reason the crack is there is that's what happened last time. But I don't know, there's details that don't match up with science. See, I can't say it was Noah's flood because what they said in Noah's flood is the water covered the tallest mountain. And they did the measurements on this amount of water. This is 10 times the amount of water that exists on the planet. And that raises two questions. Where did all this water go? Where did 10 times the water that we have go? Was it absorbed into the ground? No, no, no. That's 10 times the oceans. Okay, and I kind of just told you where it came from, where that much water could come from, but where did it go? That's why there's way more than this than just a leaky roof. Not sure if I want to put any more about that here in this note, because the main concentration is reset. You're sitting there acting like it's some big mystery. Who were these people? They left these giant heads. Why are these heads here? What do they do? And what are these stones? And what is this here? Why would they do this? What's the mystery? Man, it is real simple. They wanted you to find them. They're preserved for you to find them and ask the questions. And written there is the reset. In every culture, it's written in there. When you read everything, they'll tell you about this thing and that it comes so often. And people got different slants on it. Like when you gossip in a circle, the story gets changed completely. Some says a giant meteor comes from somewhere else every 36,000 years or whatever, and bam, hits the damn thing. Others say there's a big creature covering a hole over the glass dome in this world. And when it moves, the waters come in. And there's different tales, but they all tell you about this reset, and they have the exact same timetable. So you could say, oh, these people believe this and they said it, but theirs was different and theirs was different. But there's things that are exactly the same. Their timetable. And you check all the cultures, check all the stories. They have the same timetables for these stories, for these incidents. They have different ways in explaining them. So, what is the mission? The mission ain't, we got to get rid of all these people. Or we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to save the air, we got to do all of that. That's not job one. Because with fresh air, clean water, and everybody at peace, this shit still can go down. So those can't be the top priority. They won't save us. They'll help us live longer. Now, what are we going to do? I already designed a time capsule just in case we don't make it. I mean, I put a lot into it. You've never seen anything like this. You've never seen anything like this. The only thing you got that's even close, even little bit, even a dot in a drop of water in the ocean of this is there's a secret location where every seed on this planet is being kept and stored for just such a situation. Already already reserved, already protected. They're like a time capsule. Every seed of every plant known, even some plants that don't exist no more, they already, since they got the seeds, them plants done already went bye-bye. But they have the seeds. This is the only picture I can give you because I can't tell you about this. All I can tell you is I gotta, in case we don't make it, thing that I will be doing the whole time you see me, but you will never see me doing it. I will be building the whole time you see me building, but you will never see me building it. This is just in case this note survived, because I got a plan for that too. It's going to be in there. Everything he ever said, everything he ever did, all that. You know, not that it means that much to me, is for future information. You know, I want them trying to figure things out. I'm gonna be like, man, let me tell you about these dummies. They knew. I'm gonna keep it real. Then they're gonna have to find some scratchings on the wall. It's gonna be more serious this time because if we don't make it, I bet you the next ones make it because I dedicated my life to it. I dedicated my life to saving us. But just in case you were too far gone to comprehend, see, you had to be raised to a level of awareness before I could even say something like this. Your programming is so thick that 20 years ago, this was Twilight Zone sci-fi stuff that you could, man, that's crazy what you're saying. But everything since then, everything that I'm telling you is on YouTube. You ain't gotta believe me. It's been verified over and over and over. So it's been researched. 100,000 people all doing their own different research all end up in the same places with the same facts. It doesn't have to be researched again by you. I could see if it was just one book you read somewhere. No, you might need to read another and another. And if these people don't know each other and all did separate research and they all came to the same conclusion, you might can skip doing the research yourself. I wouldn't advise it ever. I advise you to check anything out within your power. And when I say check out, I mean verify, confirm. I don't mean it looks like it's right to me. That's not verification or confirmation. See, looks can be deceiving. So let me tell you about verification and confirmation in this world. How do you verify something or confirm something? By the means given to you, you'll want sense. Watch a baby, how it verifies and confirms things. You keep stopping it instead of paying attention to it. See, you see things and you hear things, but you don't taste them, you don't lick them. But watch that baby. That baby examines it with all of its senses. It smells it. It tastes it. It looks at it. It listens to it. You see it putting up objects that don't make any sound to its ear. Checking. It checks with every angle of its senses, every object. Food, toys, everything is tested. You're saying, no, you just put food in your, just use your tongue on food. The baby is trying to tell you how it goes. You were not given these things, these angles of the same sense for no reason. They are what it takes to confirm something completely. Okay? If you can test, if it passed these 5 tests, then it's confirmed. Looks like a skunk, sounds like a skunk, smells like a skunk. Yeah, it tastes like a skunk too. Okay, it's a skunk. So when you go in to get facts, say you want to find out about a people, look at the visuals concerning those people. Listen to the sounds made by those people. Smell the smells made by those people. And taste the foods and things of those people. Go touch those people. See, that's one right there. where everyone's missing. You keep wondering why black people, the so-called black people over there, wondering why do white folks got us twisted when we're so obvious. Dude, if you knew how they perceived you, because they never touched you, they never touched you, they don't know if you're rough or smooth. Haven't been examined fully by them, so they don't got a clear view of you. If you saw something moving around in the dark, it might make you nervous too. Something moving around over there, but you can't fully identify it. It will cause fear. It's too simple when you're evolved. But down there where you is, everybody's scratching their damn head about the simplest things to an evolved person. That's what evolution is about. A caveman scratching his head over things that's nothing to your child. Well, that's how I feel every day, all day. Everyone's around me, and all the books and all the scholars are scratching their head about things that are that simple. The baby is showing you how to examine things, and you're trying to stop it and tell it. Had to get neuroed in order to get back on track. I had to get knocked off that point and to get knocked back on track. So let's get back on track. Reset. Start over. What would be the purpose of a reset? Now you got to put yourself in the position of who's doing the resetting. Huh? And before you can realize things like, okay, what were their purpose of creation and resetting? What does this do? Is this a game to them? The game goes so far and then you turn it off and start over? End of the game? You done put a time limit on the game? Okay, we're gonna play the 36,000 and then we're gonna start over. Who's ever ahead of 36,000 wins. You're gonna have a people, I'm gonna have a people, he's gonna have a people. Just like the game that you play. Just like the games that you some kind of way think you thought of. War games, conquering games. Just like the games, if you take every game you got and put it together, you'll have the world you live in. You'll have this game. Want to know what my secret is? That's it. I know the game and that it's a game. And the rules and who has won and who has lost, which tells me how to win, not lose. And I'm winning. I'm looking like it's a movie about me. That's how I'm coming across. Come on now. You're gonna be the greatest rags to riches story and a homeless man, all tore up, look like he can't do anything, and you're gonna be the next Bruce Lee, next Michael Jackson, the next president, the next everything. You a superhero, you all these things. Richest man on earth from the poorest man on earth. How does one work fairy tale life like that? You're pushing a half a century plus some, and 13-year-old girls want to hook up with you. Who gets it like that? After all, you the wisest of the wise. You figured out things ain't nobody out. How do you get to be that kind of person? Were you born like that? What was the training? What made you like that? I don't think my process can be repeated. You know, it's sort of like making a Michael Jackson. There was things that transpired that will never transpire again. You won't have no Motown. You know, that's going bye bye. You won't have that too. You didn't hear the that we heard. And they don't play them no more. And when they do play them, you don't want to hear them. I'm talking to the young. Like, man, I mean, I like old music, but then, come on, play something cool now, man. You know, enough of that already. You've been playing that stuff all day, which means you didn't really appreciate it as well as the music you're listening to now. So you missed something, something that we got. See, when you get something that is gone, say you buy a toaster, and instead of using it, you stick it up in the closet and you forget about it. And you get an old man and you die, and your son comes and he finds this toaster, brand new, 70-year-old toaster, brand new. They don't make them no more. You can't even get the parts. Those are the things that are called invaluable. Those are the things which you can't put a price on. Whoever's collecting them will give you the top money. Again, we have to keep track of this because there's other notes on this thing. This note is going to alarm you. All right, come on now. No one just loses their train of thought. This is another lie that you've been told. There's something else going down right there. And it also goes directly with the vampire note. And vampires are going to become a real threat to you. They already are, but not you. You're unaware of them. You're unaware of it. You un. Let me tell you a story about unaware before we get back to reset. I slept in an abandoned house once. Well, I slept in a house all by myself once. All right. I keep feeling it was abandoned because I never took the boards off the window when I moved in. I'm in there all alone. I don't have any furniture. I don't have anything, and I'm in Oklahoma. I don't know anything about Oklahoma, so I'm here. All right. I used to. I don't remember biting my nails, and I see these little things on the ends of my fingers like I had blisters and they bust and you know how the little excess skin be still around in a circle and you could raise it up and get up under there a little bit. You see a little round, little circle where the blister used to be of skin, and up under there is tender. Well, these were similar to that, only they were much smaller and they were on all my fingers. And I couldn't figure it out. And I just didn't really pay attention. I'm like, what is this, honey? And did I touch some acid? What is this? My stuff is peeling. One night, I found out what it was. I was sleeping and I woke up and I went, don't know what woke me up, and I went back to sleep and I felt something like, dang, my hand itching. And I put my hand back and I felt it again. Guess what it was? A rat had been eating on me every night, and this rat had such a plan and such a skill that it could eat on you so slightly and you wouldn't even feel it. Feed on you and you wouldn't feel it. It had been eating on me I don't know how many days. Come back and nibble a little bit more. Never actually biting me where I'll see a bite and say, hey, something bit me. Just eating slight layers of skin every night. I don't know where that rat learned that trick, but he had to go through a lot of humans to do it. That ain't something a rat just comes up with. That's how vampires are. They're feeding on you ever so slightly. You don't even know it. They ain't like the ones in a movie who bite you on your neck. That's symbology. Let me break the symbol down for you. Your life force is in the blood. It's your life force thereafter. Your life force is in your blood, so the symbology is I'm sucking your blood. But really, I'm sucking the life out of you just when I get in proximity of you, like a magnet. You start shriveling up, and sort of like those Black Widow movie you see where they put the scarab on them, where she puts the scarab on the young woman and then you suck all the life out the young woman and give it to her to keep her young. That's not a movie. Yeah, that's not a movie. That's real. And they're around you and you don't know who they are. I can show you how to identify them because they really just peed me off today. So, I'll make them raise their own hand. So those who they're passing as don't suffer the same fate as them just because they look like them. Let me show you how to identify them. A vampire's goal, see, you, your energy put out has to do with your thought put out, which is in a way equal to your mouth running, okay? So if it can keep you talking, you're outputting this energy that it feeds off of. So that's its goal, to keep questioning you about stupid little random little stuff, and you're like, damn y'all dumb, damn y'all square, damn you ask the most nerdy ass green questions, and but you don't even really see what's going on. They're steady smiling too as you call them stupid and dumb and green and put them down. Why are they still smiling? You've called them all. You don't do nothing but put them down. They're still smiling. And you're not catching on. Why is this person smiling? Why aren't they crying? Why ain't I hurting their feelings? Even that is a move. This is how they feed, okay, on your energy output. Now, if I, as long as you are talking, the vampire only feeds. It only says enough to keep you going. Now, if you stop outputting, now it starts shooting questions to make you output again, forcing you to output energy so it can feed on it. And it will give you anything to let it feed on you. This is a vampire sign you can look for. Yeah, you can drive my car. You can car, need $100. Want to fuck wife? A vampire will give you anything to let it feed on you. It don't care about any of those things. It only cares like a drug addict. More. Like if you're old enough. Brains, brains, brains. That's another symbology of the same thing, the same energy output, your thoughts. All right? Brains. Need more brains. As you've seen this Night of the Living Dead evolve, when it first started, it ate brains. Okay? Before they revised it to chew on the flesh and all that. It went after your brains. I was there. I saw the original. The only time the vampire was depicted the way that it is was in the 80s, I think, a movie called Life Force that talks about some guys went out in space and no one heard from them again. Now all of a sudden, a capsule from their ship shows back up after all this time, and a capsule comes out the ship. None of the crew survived except one person, but it had 4 passengers. Now, if there's only one survivor, why is there 4 passengers? Along the way, the crew discovered an abandoned ship, a ship they thought was abandoned. But they were all just laying dormant because they didn't have nothing to feed on. They were feeding on each other little by little, and they didn't have enough to stay woke and have to feed too. So it's like if you're real hungry or ever starved, I don't know if you've ever starved, but when there's no food, you have but one option: just go to sleep. It's the only way out of it. Because as long as you're woke, you're going to be hungry. So just go to sleep. Well, to go to sleep, preserve energy in starvingness. And so they caught them, and then something happened, and all of them got killed or destroyed or something. Just these 3 survived. And the whole crew got killed, and this guy brought back these 3. When these 3 things got to Earth, they woke up and they were all attractive, like supermodels. And when you're drawn into them, like Dracula draws in people, they start sucking the life out of you, straight out of you, and you shrivel up like a raisin and turn to dust damn near. They show you this same thing in Star Trek. This thing is shown to you over and over everywhere because you're dealing with a creature that is hollow. It is not like you. It doesn't have imagination. It makes stories out of something that is real and twists them to look like imagination. But it's telling you the truth. It has no choice. It knows nothing else. Superficial creature. It's not deep. In order for it to maintain its existence, it has to feed like every other creature. It just feeds on something different than what you do. It feeds on you, like a tree feeds on you. See, but a tree doesn't really feed on you. If you walk by a tree, it's not going to suck nothing out of you. But if you blow out that carbon dioxide that you exhale, the tree's going to suck it up. Well, this isn't like a tree. You get in near these things, they're on you. If you get within their eyesight, they attempt to pull energy from you, but it, it, if you're out of range, what they get is images of you through their eyes and smells and stuff, and you will see it in them copying you. You will see them mimic you, all right? Whatever they see, they mimic, because they have no self. They're like hollow, okay? That means that, like a baby, they see something doing something, they start doing it too. They see you walking, they start walking like you. You wanna you wanna know what the vampire test is? How you can make a vampire give itself away? Start talking to it. Watch it start talking in your accent. It can't help itself. It is what it is. When you start talking to it, it will start talking like you and moving like you and doing your gestures and everything to show you that it's taking from you. That's the physical part you can see that it's taken from you. You can't see the energy reading that it's taking from you, but that's the giveaway that it's taking stuff from you. When you see it taking your ways, come on now. It's a sign it's taking, because you see it taking your ways. It's taking from you, and that's just the very part that you can perceive. You can't perceive the energy being took from you unless you look at yourself over time. If you spend time with a vampire, say you marry one or hook up with one, say you have a culture. I'm going to speak really loud because maybe the vampires got in control of the rail system and the trucks and all that, because I've been living here all my life. I know when something's way over the top, all right? But that's crazy to say, hey, the trains are interfering with me way over there. Is it? Now, vampires, they're hollow. You'll see them feeding on you. You'll see them copying you, drawing from you, and they give themselves away. What is the sign? Thanks for the reminder. What is the sign you've been bit by a vampire? Temporary short-term memory loss. Short-term memory loss. Oh, I forgot what I was thinking. What was I doing? Where did I put that? I just had it in my hand. How do you lose something out of your hand? I just had it. It was on the tip of my tongue. All of these are not accidents, but you some kind of way been programmed to think they just something that just happens. You have temporary Alzheimer's or something. No. You are under psychic attack. Vampire has powers like Dracula because its body is weak. His body is so weak it can't stand the sunlight directly. It will start peeling and deteriorating like in the vampire movies. It will start disintegrating in sunlight, in plain sunlight. It will start in open sun. It will start disintegrating. Its body is weak. So creation compensates by giving it these mind tricks like you see like Dracula, hypnosis, mind reading, telekinesis. Now, you think telekinesis, you think, oh, okay, roll a pencil, baby, if you're super, lift a car. No, listen, telekinesis, fuck with your heart, give you a cardiac arrest, mess with your kidneys, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you think your kidneys must be getting bad because you 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 couldn't even hold your pee, and it came out of nowhere. Tampering with your body. So I don't fear you. You physically superior and you can whoop my ass, but you don't always win in a confrontation and you don't know why. I don't know how I let that vampire kick my ass. You don't know what happened. Because your psychic powers have been shut off, which are superior to theirs. But you're disarmed and they're armed. So I'm going to reactivate yours. Watch them turn tail and run. You're their worst nightmare. You're the original vampire hunter and killer. They can't believe they came here and found you in such small amounts that where they can overtake you. Because in other places that will never ever happen. You don't figure out how it could ever happen in this world. How does someone who can't beat you running, can't beat you jumping, can't beat you doing anything, you created everything and you built everything, how are they kings of the world and you on the bottom? You can't even figure out what happened. Those Jedi fucking mind tricks. You've been neuralized. Don't you feel like an amnesia patient? You know what amnesia is, right? Loss of memory, can't remember who you are, can't remember where you live, can't remember your wardrobe, can't remember your cutlery, your customs. No, you can't remember anything. You need someone else to teach you your culture. And then they tell you, that's you over there. You're them, and that's your culture. But they don't look like you, and you don't never really feel it. You accept the answer because you don't have any answers. But you, in your gut, that ain't me. And you try to tell yourself, oh, I'm supposed to be like them, but I've been watered down. See, these so-called black people don't say that out loud, but inside of them, that's what they're thinking. I'm not true African thing, I've been mixed or something down. No, no, no. You're something else. You're something else. Okay? And those are not your people, and those are not your ways. You've been erased. You know, like Men in Black, you've been neuralized. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a metaphor because you're dealing with people I call the metaphorians. It's one of their trickologies. That instead of giving you plain simple things, they come with this metaphor stuff. I'm gonna give you a metaphor for what happened to you. Someone creeped in your no, someone knocked on your door, and being the good hopes you is, they say they were in trouble and needed your help. You let them in, and when you turned your back, they hit you in the head with a hammer, made you lose your memory, and when you woke up, they told you this was their house and that you were their servant. That's what happened to you. I swear on my life. It's not perfect. Okay, let's reset it again and start from the top. Have you ever been on a movie set? You ever heard the expression cut? Come on, let's do it again. You ever been in a recording studio? You know how many do-overs they do? So, someone is perfecting life, and they probably got more um, test tubes than this one. And they're trying to get it right in all these test tubes. I want to win. I don't want to be reset. I want to be that perfect. This one went right. This is what we wanted right here. They show promise. We couldn't hope for these kind of results. That's what I want. I don't want to get reset because y'all all stuck on stupid. No, I don't want to die. And that's how you get reset. You don't meet the standards of what the goal of the project was. The goal of the project is the same as you. You're a replica of them, all right? It's like there's a giant you up there voting, rooting for you. And if you get took out, they're out the game. And they can only lend you so much assistance. You get to you create your man. It's not a game where you have the controller controlling everything. It's a wave ball game that you're getting to, where the game goes by itself. And you don't know the outcome of the game. See, you haven't made this kind of game yet, where the game can think for itself, where your character in the game can think for itself without you controlling him. If he get attacked, he know how to fight. You don't have that kind of game yet. But you're in that kind of game, and you're that kind of character. Now, crabs in a bucket is why people get reset. People so desperate to climb to the top of the game, they're pulling other people down trying to do it. No one evolves to the level because these people oppress these people, and these people oppress these people, and these people suppress these people, and on and on. And one people evolving ain't gonna get it. It will win the game, but it's not gonna stop the reset. The reset is what you call a stalemate, across the board tie. You didn't beat me, I didn't beat you. We can't start over. That's it. Okay, let's go play this game. Because that game earned its right to do whatever it's doing. In other words, you can have plants that you grow for sale. Okay? There will be a plant that earns the right for you not to pull it up and sell it. You would just become sentimental about it. It's such a great plant. I can't give it to someone else. I don't even want to chop it down. That's the world I want. I want this to be that plant in the scheme of all these things that I'm mentioning that most of you can't even wrap your brain around. But it's funny how for conspiracy theorists with all the mental problems they have to be the most open-minded, the most likely to catch what's really the truth. For the crazies to be the most open-minded to catch the truth. That's wild. That's wild. Because you're calling them crazy and you're such a robot. They're they're more human than you are. And they do have issues. They went crazy searching for the truth. You know that story. Like most of you went crazy in search of God. Like you had the tools to find God. Like you had the mind to perceive God and picture God in your brain, or to do anything related to God, see God, smell God. You crazy to even go down that road. Only thing you're gonna end up saying is, this is what they told me. Because no one can verify what they have not witnessed themselves. So it'll never be verified. Because why? It is too big for you to see and perceive.